What's unique about this training camp is the fact that students will be giving not necessarily techniques, but the knowledge of how to develop the techniques into their game. It's so difficult sometimes for you to retain information. You go to tons of seminars, you do instruction, you can keep track of what you're learning. What's the key element that transforms your ability to assimilate, retain, and execute the techniques? And these are open to all levels, because a lot of times the difference between a black belt and a white belt is just the degree of perception and understanding of the technique, which means is the speed in which you learn. So how do you work the acceleration part of it? You go in gradients. A white belt does an up escape. A black belt does an up escape with a little twist of angles and weight distribution. So there's subtle elements that are added. But these are available to all levels and all students. And I'm very excited with that. This is not just to give you techniques. This is to prepare you to look at Jiu-Jitsu all together from a different perspective.
You're gonna do the guy's getting around you. This right before the guy gets on top of you. You're gonna keep both arms blocking. I call that double frame. See it? 2 frames. And then elbow dip. So it kind of works like this, slow motion. Okay? You let the guy stop their legs and walk around. You wait for him with the double, and then get your elbow in. Do you see how the elbow's there? Now start the wiggle. Oh, put the guy right back.
People say a picture is worth 1,000 words. A concept is worth 1,000 techniques. And basically the idea of concept is you have to see first, and then you have to feel it, and then you understand it. These are the steps that usually Jiu-Jitsu works. But a lot of times you can't see what's happening because the guy is right on top of you, you're in the midst of a maze, you're not sure where to go, what you're doing, so you rely 100% on how you feel about the technique. So it's the first frontier of your knowledge, learning how to improve your technique by feeling it first. And the parameter there is easy. If it feels good, you keep doing it. If it feels bad, you try to avoid it. It's like human nature. So, but the irony of Jiu-Jitsu is you start with the worst first. Learn how to deal with the difficult situations right off the bat, and everything else that's added upon it is kind of like an ice on the cake. And this is one of the main concepts that's going to be worked on the next training camp that I'm excited to teach this coming month, is your ability to understand that a bad position is an opportunity for you to improve and actually take advantage of the situation and turn it around on your behalf.
But you have, when the guy has the head control, then all I care about is putting him back in the guard. The problem is, he's wrapped up on my body here. Unless I create space here, I cannot guarantee the escape. So I'm trying to push here. Guilherme will proceed to rotate his body. Yeah, look, he turns right there. He just slipped out like nothing. There's nothing I can do there, okay? So go back one step. The training I want you to do is from here, okay? This is called knee on the pocket. You understand that? When you strip, when you slightly in, it's knee on the pocket. What I want you to do with this arm here is prevent his shoulders from turning. So here, when he tries to put the weight on me, I'm here, right? He tried to put the weight to finish the pass, turn. Look, he's not going much because I still have him here. Now my legs here, coil and catch him. There are 2 things that can happen here. One, I can stretch and kick.
The domino effect is you are learning one technique, and I call that deep knowledge. You really perfect that technique to the detail. So you're learning every subtle aspect of that mechanical movement, and in doing so, it causes an interesting effect on your nervous system, because Jiu-Jitsu is about your nervous system. It's not about your muscle, it's not about your brain. Those two work later. The first part altogether is the nervous system. So you learn how to, like learning how to ride a bike. Once you learn the feel of how to keep your balance, you never fall off the bike. You don't need the 8 wheels anymore. So with that said, you get better at one move, and then the domino happens when there's another move that's completely unrelated to that, something that has nothing to do with it. You are doing a choke from the mount, and you get really good at that. All of a sudden, your guard sweep gets improved. That's an example of the domino effect, because your motor skills now are sharper on a particular technique. There's a domino side effect that's going to unravel towards many other areas of your game that you may be completely unaware of. So let's step that subtle potential on your jiu-jitsu game. I want you to know how to make the domino effect part of your jiu-jitsu.
Thanks for tonight, Carlos. It was great content. Louder. Really concept based, and everything was connected together beautifully. And I love the boss group. So thank you.
Okay guys, my name is Grant Bowen. Today was my first time I've ever trained with Carlos. The simplicity and the easiness of the session, the way he strung it together was simply amazing. I thought I had a grasp of Jiu-Jitsu until I came here, and now my mind is blown. Thank you, Carlos.
Adam McClellan here. First time at a Carlos Machado seminar. It was absolutely invaluable knowledge, which I wish I knew as a white belt, and I'll carry through far into the future. Amazing, and I recommend it for anybody.